All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So today's pod is, you know, just a reflection on what it means to feel stuck, to be stuck, and then, of course, to be able to step into that space, into that land of freedom where, you literally are living the life of your dreams. So, what am I referring to here? Today, in our session that we do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm talking about the eye hypnosis life foundation program. Um, in today's session, we, you know, members of our community were exploring themes around toxic habits. And what I found in common with all their stories, with all their stuckness that they were, exploring and going beyond, the key in all of this was, of course, what is the theme for today's pod? And of course, I'm talking about the power of stories. So if you notice, when we grow up, we tend to remember stories, we tend to internalize these stories, and a lot of these stories tend to get stuck in some part of our body. And especially when it is something, uh, of course, when it is something, pleasurable, something enjoyable, something, happy, and of course, when it is something that was painful, even traumatic. And a lot of times these stories tend to, be in our, not only in our psyche, which is more sort of a mental frame, but it also tends to be stuck in some part of our body. And now, of course, especially at the time of this recording, 2025, there's more and more evidence. There's more and more of a agreement to the fact that, when we feel stuck emotionally, a lot of it is, stuckness that was there prior to us even realizing that we are stuck. And a lot of this is linked to, the physical or the emotional trauma that we would have undergone or experienced maybe even decades ago. Now, the flip side, of course, is that, when we are willing to recognize our stories, when we're willing to acknowledge our stories and realize that we are no longer our stories, that means we've gone beyond our stories. That is when we tend to, let go of these old stories that were plaguing us, that were holding on to us. And a lot of times, that is when transformation happens. I've seen this in my own life. I've seen this in the lives of my clients over and over again. And I find this really, really not only fascinating, but it is so liberating to know that, just because you had a stuck, mindset because of an experience that you had, decades ago, you can, of course, now let go of it and experience that freedom. And here's the thing, once you experience that freedom, it just tends to literally um, it literally goes from doubling to quadrupling and beyond. By that I mean that your um, your happiness, your joy, your freedom that you feel will just keep on growing. And it's almost like a geometric progression where it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And before long, you've literally become a completely different person from who you used to be. Anybody that you know that has, transformed their life, that has changed who they are, when you say that, oh, so and so changed their personality, a lot of it stems from this. When they have that moment of realization that, what, I don't um, I don't resonate anymore, I don't identify anymore with that version of myself from so many years or even decades ago. And now you're, literally creating a new reality, a new history, and more importantly, you're designing a new story. So my question to you, of course, as I start to wind this pod down, or as I say, we start to land this plane, just a reminder to you, and a question, of course, which is, What is the story that you're telling yourself? What have you been holding on to, knowingly or unknowingly? And, you know, just because it is in your life, what is the story that you're telling yourself that keeps this story alive? And maybe on closer reflection, you might notice that, you actually are much more than that story you've been telling yourself, whether that is in the context of, especially as a healer, as a coach, or as a healer coach like me, in the context of maybe your health, or maybe, the way you relate to money, your money stories, your money psychology, or money philosophy, and of course, even in your relationships. So, really looking forward to hearing your stories and your transformations that you experience in the coming days. And of course, before I go, just a couple of things to remember. I do this pod every single day just as a reminder to you that you're not alone, and that you have somebody here who is rooting for you, who is supporting you. And if you like this kind of content and you want to be part of our community, we do meet every Monday and Friday between 6 and 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. This is, of course, a way for you to connect, for you to experience what I do live. And if you like the format, if you like the experience, and of course, you get to meet members of our community. So if you feel that you resonate with our community, you can, of course, continue to be part of this. And we do have a couple of tracks. These are paid tracks, and as someone very rightly said, that those who pay attention. So the first track is, of course, the foundation program. This happens every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And on the weekends between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And of course, once you've attended this and you like this 3-day format and you want to go deeper, we do have the advanced program, and this is a 3-month renewable membership. In addition to this, of course, if you feel that this programming is really making a difference, is really shifting your mindset and is helping you change the stories that you've been telling yourself, then you're more than welcome to go deeper. And we have what we call the mastery program, where I teach you the skills that I myself am using in our sessions to help you go deeper. And these are skills that you can use in your own personal life. You can use this in the work that you do as a healer, as a coach, or a healer coach like me. And of course, you can also apply these in your relationships, your relationships with money, your relationships with people. And there are lots and lots of ways in which you can learn over these 90 days in the mastery program to be able to apply yourself. And lastly, if you're looking to be mentored by me and you want to be coached by me, you can, of course, reach out and let me know, because slots do open from time to time. And you can be part of our personal coaching program. So, of course, as always, having said all of that, God bless, and remember to live your purpose.